yo no era dominicano, yo era colombiano, yo era ecuatoriano, yo era argentino, habíamos pocos y éramos uno. Entonces ahora veo algo de pronto en la política, que somos latinos. Siempre hemos sido latinos. Lo que yo quiero saber es cómo nosotros vamos a unirnos. Tiene que ser sistemático. Y esto tiene que repetirse y tiene que continuar. Yo los felicito por el trabajo que están haciendo. Aquí hay grandes líderes y esperamos que esto continúe porque es importante. Y nuestros oficiales electos tienen que estar aquí. We have to hold them accountable. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. How are we going to be unified? Okay? How are we going to be politically unified? Okay. One of the things that's very important that I see throughout Queens County, and I am a district leader since 2002, is that, you know, he's right about our first district leader, Javier Montserrat, and then your second female Hispanic district leader, Marta Flores Vasquez. There was only 2 of us. And then came Fior, right? And this year, you have Jalissa, you have Jessica, okay? But that's such a small victory, okay? And then this particular district, right? They carved out a Hispanic district. And we got Peralta, we got Jalissa, we got Hiram, and we allowed the Latinos that are the elected officials, except for me, because I'm the controversial one. I'm the one that does not fall in line, okay? Because I stand for my people, because I know the importance of unity, because I know how hard it was to get there, because I know how hard Peralta, Julissa, and Hiram struggled to get there. The question is, you struggle to get there, what are you going to do to stay there? What are you going to do to stay unified? How is it that you can possibly allow county or anyone outside of that Latino circle to divide you? Okay? And then when you need their help, they're laughing because you're all divided. Now you're all divided, so you're weak. United we stand, divided we fall.
Hey, whoa!
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Mercedes y realmente tengo una gran preocupación como integrante de una comunidad, de la comunidad hispana. Nosotros identificamos porque pertenezco a un partido político en Perú, no llamamos hispanos sino indoamericanos, en la cual no solamente están los latinos o los hispanos de América del Sur, sino de Centroamérica, y lo importante para nosotros en esta oportunidad y que hemos visto con mucha preocupación que ha habido muy poca participación en las elecciones de algunos candidatos. La pregunta es, ¿cómo los políticos transparentes van a crear una forma de trabajo a fin de crear una conciencia política de la comunidad para que haya una mayor participación? Porque realmente es una vergüenza que últimamente en las elecciones solamente hayan votado el 5% del 100% de votantes que hay. Esa es mi pregunta. ¿Cómo, si es que hay un plan de trabajo para crear una conciencia cívica en los indoamericanos? Gracias.
It started here today. Giraldo, stand up. Let's give him a round of applause because he is the leader that's going to take us to the next level.
Voy a aguantar un golpe bajo en esta comunidad porque se retira, porque aquí hay siempre golpe bajo. Y este tipo de literatura, o sea, esto es una bajeza, esto es una vergüenza, que cosas así se estén distribuyendo. O sea, a ti mismo. Sí, a ti mismo, amigo, a ti mismo. O sea, yo creo que o tú no tienes tiempo para hacer las cosas o están pagando bien, uno de los dos. Creo que pero bueno. Mi pregunta es la siguiente. Mi pregunta es la siguiente.
You mentioned my name. You mentioned his name.
Okay, Ramón, mi pregunta. Déjame terminar. Let me finish. Déjame terminar.
Orden.
Déjame terminar.
Okay, 3 questions.
Question number 3. Okay, Mr. Interior, you take a minute. Why Peralta don't answer for $500? Why you don't pay the rent? Why Peralta don't put it to me in the court? That's the question. Why you don't pay the rent? How you can be politician here if you don't pay the rent?
Voy a hacer una pregunta bien cortica. Estamos para traer nuevos latinos para votar. ¿Cómo carajo le voy yo a decir a mi gente que salgan a votar por latinos si los 4 latinos que tenemos los están investigando?
Beyond the local politics, as you say, there'll be another meeting, and Giraldo and the people here will call another meeting to organize us, and half the people won't show up. And that'll be okay, because the people that do show up are the people you build with. Remember that. You're not going to have everybody come to the table at the same time, so you take the people that do come, and you keep promoting what our issues are and going forward with it. It is about, and again, if you want to have elected officials really talk about what our agenda is, then we have to go from 5%, like you said, to 40%. Because if we go from 5 to 40 or 100% participation, I guarantee you that our issues will be at the top of everybody's lip. They will be talking about our community and how they can give us more jobs and give us better health care and improve our living conditions and improve the rental situation. All these things will become our issues. But they don't call it our issues right now because we're not even on the map for them. That's why I tell you that our vote matters. It absolutely matters. If this is the first time you vote, then vote now.
People say about we new immigrants becoming citizens and all this. So we need to engage all these new citizens in our community to become part of the system. And we go to tell them, well, they need to be district leaders. But what happens is our elected officials, they're also the district leaders. So how are you going to get involved in politics if our elected officials are the district leaders? That's unfair. Now, because we need to cultivate new people, new blood in the system. So that's one thing. They manipulate who runs. Second thing is about the money. The money is always a big thing. The third thing, they give this money to non-for-profits and they use it as a tentacles for the political gains. You know, if you don't help me on this campaign, you're not getting no funding. That's wrong too. And the third one is they use the unions. So when you see the unions, when you see a candidate and he has all these endorsements with all these unions, you wonder how many times they sold their sold. You wonder, because they sold to the unions, but they didn't sell to the communities. And that's our fault, because we represent these communities. We live in these communities. We need people to stand for the issues in our communities. And please, we gotta wake up.
No, the other thing is you talked about the unions. For example, that's the problem. See, you talked about the unions, like the unions is something out there, outside of the community. Well, our workers. What have we been doing to hold the unions accountable to our agenda, our community's agenda, right? And that's the thing that's very important. So there's a level of Latinos in the unions that are middle level positions that are being kept from taking leadership positions. That's something else that we have to be working on because it's part of the whole political process. And sometimes we look at these things and say, well, eso afuera, I don't know nothing about that, the unions, whatever. But those are the kinds of things that we have to be organized as a community. What are we doing to hold our own Latino union people accountable for them to organize, to put pressure on the union movement here? One of the things, just like with the elected officials, my opinion is that the union leadership we have in this town, not just Latinos, the union leadership is probably the worst I've ever seen in my life. If I ask you who's the head of this union or that union, you're probably not going to know. They're not playing any kind of real leadership role, and the unions are in trouble. The teachers' union's in trouble. They're all in trouble. But that's a whole area, for example, that we also have to look at, just like we look at the political process, because it's part of the process, and hold them accountable too.